So this month we're talking about wisdom, and so today's talk is about the wisdom of the season and how things that we do during this particular season, whether you practice Christianity and celebrate the Christmas season, whether you practice Islam and celebrate other traditions, whether you practice Buddhism or Judaism or any of the other things, there's a wisdom inherent. There are actually 19 different major holidays in this 6-week period of time that bring about an emotion that isn't possible with our logical thinking brain. They bring something up in us that oftentimes we didn't even know was there. They make, this is one of the quotes I found about it, the rituals that we do at this time of year, physicalize the spiritual and spiritualize the physical. They bring things into our experience that wasn't possible through our conscious intellectual mind. They make things tangible, of the feeling of it, the tone of it. When we touch into those traditions that we may have had in our youth, and they bring back those wonderful memories, and they evoke that feeling of family and connection and community that is possible because we're doing those things together. It's something that it goes beyond our logical thinking brain. You know, we spend so much time in our intellect as human beings. We spend so much time trying to figure things out, rationalize it, make it work, and so forth. But ritual and the holidays and the traditions that we experience bring us to a deeper level, a deeper way of experiencing those things. Parker Palmer, who's one of my favorite authors, says that what we get through ritual is the rapture of being alive. The rapture of being alive. When we can experience ritual together, when we can experience it in a community like this, with lots of other people that now have a common experience, that when you meet those people again, that feeling is evoked, that feeling comes back up inside of you, that you achieved when you were doing the rituals together. So as I said last couple of weeks, our focus for this next coming year is going to be on experiences, because we can sit and intellectualize things all the time. But as Michael Beckwith says, and I love this one, that I just lost the quote. I can't remember the first part of it. And you know what? I say this quote all the time anyway. Advanced spirituality is practice. That's the end of it. Advanced spirituality is practice. Oh, rudimentary spirituality is theory. Advanced spirituality is practice. There we go. There we go. I got it. I'm a little jazzed. Thank you so much for this. In her book about ritual, Margot Alder says this: the purpose of ritual is to wake up the old mind, to put it to work. The old ones inside us, the collective unconsciousness, the many lives, the different eternal parts, the senses, the parts of the brains that have been ignored. Those parts do not speak English. They do not care about television, but they do understand candlelight and colors, and they do understand nature. Something happens within us when we can get to that place of that kind of connection, where we've gone beyond the intellect and it has become an embodied feeling within us. And that for me has been the biggest transformation in my spiritual journey, is when I've engaged in a ritual, when I've engaged in a group activity, when we've been together in community, and something happens that is not describable. But it is so powerful that you are forever changed by it. You can't go back to the way it was before. It's like, and I say this often, it's like, I can't unknow what I know now. Because now I've had the experience of it. Now it's alive in my body. And I can actually begin to tap into that and allow it to take hold in a way that it couldn't before. I can sit and read book after book after book after book, and I have my life. 4 or 5 degrees and a few other things, and being an avid reader, I've read a few books. But I only get so much out of that. I can only take that so far. But when I have that experience of it, when it comes alive in me in a way that it hadn't before, then that's real. That's the real stuff there. And so that's one of the things that the holidays bring for us, is they bring that experience to us. They tap into that, the old knowledge, as Margaret Alder said, they tap into the old ones inside of us. They tap into that experience and allow it to come alive inside of us. Clayton, if you want, they can come around to the other door. Clayton, if you want people to come around the other door, it might be easier. So, thank you. So, you see before you the labyrinth. You know, when we began planning a building, that was one of the first things that came up, is we wanted a labyrinth in the sanctuary floor. Aristotle says that the soul sees things in images, not words. And sacred images, like a labyrinth, touch our souls in a way that other things can't. Just like the ritual can do, these images evoke something within us. It's why I do the mandalas. They're a sacred image. It's coming from my soul outward and becomes an expression that I can't describe, I can't put words on, but oftentimes brings me to an understanding that wasn't possible before in my practice of drawing mandalas. And so for me, these images, these sacred images, are there to touch our souls. And then when we walk the labyrinth, especially when we walk the labyrinth in community, something else happens. Something begins to transform us. If we stay in our logical thinking mind, well, it's just putting steps on a piece of tile. But when we can step out of that and touch and let it touch our soul, then it becomes a completely different experience for us. Answers happen in the labyrinth. Insight happens in the labyrinth. Clarity happens in the labyrinth. When we stand at the mouth of the labyrinth, which is down there by Justin, and we walk into it, walk the path. The path would be the light-colored tiles. The dark-colored tiles are called the wall. And then, of course, we have the center. The metaphor for a labyrinth is, the thing about a labyrinth is it a metaphor for your life. The way you do life is very similar to the way you approach a labyrinth. And what's shocking is when you find out that the way you walk a labyrinth is how you're doing life. So for instance, if you're walking a labyrinth with a group of people, there's somebody in front of you, and they're walking their own path. And their path may not be the way you want to walk. What is happening inside of you when that happens? Are you getting irritated? How often in our own lives do we get irritated because people aren't doing the things that we think they should be doing? No? Or this is the one that I often had times of being a people pleaser that I'm breaking away from. That's my goal, is breaking away from being such a people pleaser. I would feel somebody behind me. And they were coming a little close. And I'm thinking, oh, I need to do something to make them feel comfortable. So I would step out of the way and let them pass me. Where I'm taking ownership for their experience and negating mine. How often do we do that in life? The labyrinth is a metaphor for our life. The way we walk a labyrinth is the way that we do life. And we can look at things. Are you in a hurry to get to the center? In other words, is it all about the destination and nothing about the journey? How often do we do that in our lives? I'm a big fan of road trips, and so for me, my mantra is, the destination isn't important, it's the journey that matters to me. And my second mantra is, there's always room for a U-turn. Elizabeth Lesser, who's one of the great authors of our time, wrote in her book, A New American Spirituality, she writes, "There is a spiritual longing that is neither a feeling nor a thought. It is more like a gravitational pull into the direction of wholeness, enlightenment, truth, what some might call God. There is a pull within us, And the labyrinth is a place for us to explore that pool, to explore what's happening within us, to have that, a place for that to come forth. The labyrinth gives us time to integrate the things into our lives a little bit more. You have the journey into the labyrinth, and then you have the return journey out of the labyrinth. And both are equally important. Both will provide insight. Both will tell you things about yourself that you might not have known before. Many people get to the center and are instantly they just want to turn around and get back out again. Because that's what they feel like they have to do. It has to be completed. It's not just a matter of getting to the circle and then seeing what's available for us there. It's I gotta do the other part now. And again, that metaphor for our lives. How often do we have to get things done, finish things up, instead of experiencing what's available for us in the moment as we move through it? The labyrinth is a larger-than-life metaphor for our spiritual journey. A larger-than-life metaphor for our spiritual journey. That's written by Lauren Ardress, who is from the Vertitas organization, and she's written several books about the Sacred Companion. Your path is your own, but you must walk it side by side with others, with compassion and generosity as your beacons. If anything is required in this, it is this: fearlessness in your examination of your life, a willingness to continually grow, and an openness to the possibility that in the ordinary is the extraordinary, and that your joys and your sorrows have meaning and mystery. Not just the labyrinth, but other rituals that we do in life actually begin to give us that experience of the mystery, the meaning, the mystery. Something that's available to us that is not available through our logical thinking minds. They're great and they serve us really well, but they can also inhibit us in our spiritual path. They can keep us stuck in the same place. They can bring up things like our fears and our doubts and our worries. But if we can transcend those, if we can set those aside, especially during ritual, and we tap into that, what Ernest called the ineffable, that presence that is undescribable, then we begin to have a different experience in life. Your life is a sacred journey. It is about change, growth, discovery, movement, and transformation. Continuously expanding your vision of what is possible. Stretching your soul. Learning to see clearly and deeply. Listening to your intuition. Taking courage whenever you face challenges every step along the way. You are on a path exactly where you are meant to be right now. And from here, you can only go forward, shaping your life into a story, a magnificent tale of triumph, of healing, of courage, of beauty, of wisdom, of power, of dignity, and of love. Your life is a story, and it is unfolding. And rituals can help with that unfoldment. They can help you get a little clearer about things that are happening in your lives. On Monday morning, when I was scheduled to come here and meet the flooring people, the tile setters, to lay out the labyrinth. And it's, I have puppies, so it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden it hits me, our labyrinth needs a name. And following that instantly was the name Vision. And so this is Vision. It is vision manifested. It is vision unfolding. It is the high vision of our center, and it is a magnificent creation to behold. And so I present to you Vision as a labyrinth. I think that, as I've said before, as we were getting ready to purchase the labyrinth and build it and so forth, that this is a game changer for our community. And I've already heard it from many of you as you walked through the doors and saw it for the first time. There's something here that's special. And it's more than just pieces of tile on the floor. Anybody can do that. But we, as a community, have created something magnificent here together. And I can't wait to see and experience what unfolds through it. So on your seats, you have a labyrinth. These are different kinds of labyrinths. I just pulled out about 10 different labyrinths. Labyrinths can be walked physically. Labyrinths can be done, as we're going to do today, with our fingers. This is a finger labyrinth. And I'm going to take you through a little contemplation. You know me, I like our spiritual practices. I like to see how we can use this stuff to change this. So Justin, he's so good. I gave him a song a couple days ago, and he got it all down pat for us. And so this is Karen Drucker's song, "In Beauty May I Walk." And so, is there anybody else that needs one? I think there should. I have them put on every chair. There's plenty of them over here. Everybody has one? Okay, great. All right, so Justin's going to start the song off, and then I will speak some things. So if you would, just go ahead and close your eyes. And just listen to the words of this song. You have to open your eyes for this part. Put your finger at the mouth of the labyrinth, the opening. It should be at the bottom of it. And just find those things that are on your mind right now. You might have a question that's come up. You have something that you need to do or a decision to make. Maybe you have a situation that feels unresolved and you want to find clarity about that. Bring to mind whatever that situation is or whatever that question is, and hold it in your consciousness for a moment as you wait at the mouth of the labyrinth. And as you move your finger forward through the labyrinth, notice how it feels when you are on a big sweeping curve or when you come to a turn. Just notice what's going on in your consciousness. If your mind starts to drift away, just bring that question or that situation back to your mind and see what clarity is available for you. Give you a few minutes here to move into the labyrinth, spend a moment or two at the center of the labyrinth, and then move out. Just simply acknowledge anything that came forth for you during that time, or anything that's left still needs to be resolved. Just bring it to your conscious awareness. And know that at any time you can go back in and walk the labyrinth with your finger, or physically in one of these magnificent labyrinths we have around town, or ours here. They're always available. So let's just take this into prayer. I usually have the practitioners surround, but just stay where you are right now. Just keep the peaceful quietness of it. Hold the high watch from that place. And so right here and right now, I feel that presence. I see it on the face of everyone here. I feel it moving through the air in this room and bubbling up through the soles of my feet as I walk this holy ground. For truly, the presence of God is right here. It is in each one of us. It is showing up as us in all that we are and all that we do. We are the embodiment of the living Spirit Almighty. It has created each one of us and brought us to this moment to do its work, to be the place through which it shows up. And each one of us is that vessel of love, of compassion, of generosity. We are the perfection and the wholeness of the divine, right here and right now. And I know that this sanctuary that we have created here is more than just a physical space. It is a feeling in each one of us. For we are God's sanctuary. And we show up as it in everything that we are and everything that we do. Every single moment of our life, we are a blessing and a benediction to everyone who comes into our consciousness. And how grateful I am for this community, for these beloved souls who join together with us in this time and this space, and for everyone who joins us online as they watch the broadcast of this service. I know that the consciousness transcends all of the internet pathways, airways, whatever we want to call it. We are all divinely connected, unified in this oneness as the presence of the divine. And I just give great thanks for this knowing. I'm so grateful to see it, to feel it, and to know it is happening right here and right now. And I release this word into that law that always says yes, that knows no limits and cannot be contained. I let it go and I let it be. And together we say, and so it is.